see Isaac's address the group this morning. I guess what did you take from that in fronting up against his teammates?
Yeah, it was good to have him back with the group and for him to be in amongst them this morning and sort of go through our planning as we normally do. But just great to have him back, be able to get around some of our group because we have missed him.
We heard him speak last night, but you probably had a bit of a chat with him today. Where is he at the moment in terms of his welfare and his mental health at the moment?
Where he sits right now, he's just really keen for our guys to go and perform. Chatting to him this morning, he's in a pretty good space. Probably disappointed still, because I know this is the hardest time. Probably tomorrow will be the toughest for him. But he just wants our guys to go out and perform, and that's what he was able to relay to them this morning, and in a really short address, just to talk them through where he's at and what he wants them to do tomorrow.
How big's his role for the rest of the year? Regardless of result tomorrow night, being around the club and helping train and his energy and his support. How big will that be?
Similar to any of our players that are going through that they're not able to be selected, whether that's through suspension or injury, working back from rehab. You've seen Josh Rochelle around. They're professionals that go to work. What's next? So part of the guys I've just mentioned is their ability to be ready if and when called upon is what the mode he goes into at the moment. There's a small window, really small one for Isaac. Josh is in a position now where he's progressing really well. Again, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we just want to keep that progression going, but they're doing everything they can to be ready if called upon.
In a dream world, and it doesn't always work this way, but in a dream world, if you got some of this stuff more out of the way earlier, so the day before a qualifying final, your first question wasn't about Isaac?
That's not going to happen with you guys sitting in here, is it? Realistically, we're focused on the footy and have been as a group for the last week and a half, and we're in a unique position. So is our opponent, that we've played each other recently. There's a lot of respect there for the way that last game played out, and probably the 10 games before that. So our focus has been 100% on footy.
Mitch Brown, sorry to interrupt. Mitch Brown came out last week with a pretty big statement. It was something that the Crows didn't publicly comment at the time. Did you have a thought on his news? Well,
I think that shows the importance of then getting around the people that need support and understanding how it does affect a lot more people than just those involved immediately. I think that's what's taken from it, and that's why it is it's a tough space to work in.
In hindsight, could you have handled it any better, or did the club handle it as well as it could have? Was it the right call to get him overseas?
Oh, I think we've made the right call when it came to preparing him for that small window and opportunity if he is able to play again this year. We looked into that at length, talked about all the pros and cons, and ultimately it came down to performance on the footy field, what would put him in the best position.
He'll be ready to go on grand final day? He'd be ready to go on grand final day if called upon?
He will be from a physical point of view.
Is that hard?
The group.
Do you want to talk some footy now?
Sorry, just one question on Isaac. But is it hard for him though to, obviously he would want to play in that grand final, but want to see the team succeed. So obviously there's a duality to it of the game tomorrow night. If they lose, he has a chance of playing, but if they win, then that rules him out. How's he sitting with that at the moment?
Well, I can't answer that one for him, so I won't.
He addressed the group. Did the group address him, and if so, what did they say back?
That's probably more for us internally, but yeah, he stood up in front of the group today, actually in amongst the group today, and just talked through where he's at and what he wanted to see from our group. As I said at the start, he's just really keen for our guys to go and perform, and he understands that we're in that mode right now. We're in the process of preparing for a game, and part of that's something we've done really well all year, is to be able to nail in on that. In the finals, the noise around the game is even more than it is regular season. Our guys have been locked in. Hopefully you've seen that by the way we've trained, and then even again this morning. Yeah, we'll probably have a couple of changes. Max looks great. Physically, he's mentally ready to go, so he'll play. Pedlar's, again, we want to make sure guys pull up well today, but Pedlar will more than likely come in, and so there'll be two guys that you'll see out there tomorrow, everything going well.
You've seen Max Michelini train as a forward. Have you been impressed in how he's adjusted to that role in training and in the game against Richmond earlier in the season?
Yeah, we might have done that deliberately to take you guys off track. I guess you'll find that out tomorrow night. But we know Max can play multiple roles. It's one of the things we looked at this year was becoming a more flexible team. You know, players becoming more flexible individually to play all different roles that we might need at different times. And so if he's needed to go forward to the ball at any stage, we're confident he can do that and do a great job. And we understand what he's done now for a longer period of time behind the ball.
It might have been Lockie that had a bit of a job on Josh a couple of weeks ago. Did you feel that worked on the night, and is he someone that structurally you'd like to put a bit of work into?
Yeah, the challenge with Collingwood is there's so many, talented individuals that impact the game in a big way. Josh is one of those, Nick's another, Scott. It goes on and on. Elliot had the ball. So we've got our work cut out, and we're very mindful, and we've said this right the way through, of being pulled apart when it comes to our opposition. We focus on what we do well. We've been preparing all season to play finals footy. It's been a brand that we've been pretty proud of, even when not winning games of footy, that we enjoy the contest. We like to tackle, we like to break tackles. It's the way we've played our footy, and so now we've got a chance to test ourselves on the real stage.
Can you beat them again if you concede 71 inside 50s?
Let's hope so, eh?
Will Isaac be there tomorrow night?
He will be, yeah.
On that though, have you gone specifically onto work that knowing that you can't afford that happen again? That's that same inside 50 account. Has that been a specific focus in the preparation?
Yeah, of course. I think when you look at the stats from last time we played, the inside 50 number is an interesting one. They definitely dominated the game on us, and we're probably losing 9 out of 10 of those games. When you look at it statistically, but fortunately, we don't actually put the result on just those stats. It's more about goals and points, so we got the game. But the reality is we've got to be better than we were last time we played. So we've gone to work on that, not just against Collingwood. We went to work on that against North, and we're confident we're in a better position. We also have a really clear understanding of what we got wrong last time against Collingwood.
The worst from that game was obviously the ranking thing, but the reports were that it was quite a spiteful affair on the field, quite lippy. Have you had a chat to your players about staying composed and not allowing, if that same environment occurs again, given what's at stake, that they need to stay out of those sort of moments? How do you sort of guard against that?
It's no different to what we've looked at during the regular season. We understand emotion amps up. I think pressure amps up in finals footy. That's what we've got to be able to deal with. And we've been working to deal with that all year. And we play... you guys have been there. We played a number of huge games across the year. None more recent than that one, 54,500. Our stadium packs out most weeks, so it won't be necessarily a new environment, although there'll be a lot more Collingwood supporters than were there the last game. But that's part of our challenge, and that's the part we don't know because we don't have experience on that stage yet, at least not to the level of our opponents. They've got more players that have played finals footy. But again, this is what we've done all our preparation for, is to be in this moment.
Do you have a message to supporters ahead of tomorrow night, given the potential hostilities on field?
I think, like we've talked about in the state, we've all acknowledged the lid's off. Come down and enjoy a good game of footy. Obviously be respectful, like we talk about all the time. It's like with any sport, whether it's kids' sport or whether it's the highest level, I think there's a certain respect that we have to stand by. But people love the footy. I think it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere, so come down and enjoy it.
Do you allow the playing group, Nixie, to enjoy the moment that is the first set of finals since 2017?
Yeah, we do, and our learnings from the big games we played in, gather around, we kicked off the first year Thursday night. We looked at all of those games as small stepping stones towards moments like this. They're not exactly the same, but what we took from those, we hope we're able to take into this game. But yeah, there'll be a certain component of it that, trust what the work we've done, trust the base we've built over time, and go and play, go and enjoy playing footy. We play our best footy when we just get out there and we enjoy it.
How have you handled Taylor Walker's 300th in-house, and also just a line on how significant he's been for you as a coach since you've arrived in his leadership and also on field?
Yeah, we've had a great week and a half. We tried to front end a fair bit of it, and that was Tex, prioritising others, and he's huge for our football club, and he's huge for the state. And when I I'm not sure if anyone will ever see it, but we get to watch, you know, a highlights video of his 300 games, both on and off field, and what he's been able to do. And you know, I guess there's a lot out there about maybe mistakes that he may have made across the journey, but there's so many positives, things that Tex has done for our community especially, and outside of footy, and we were able to look at that, go back on a bit of a journey, and see some of the things he's done across that journey, and why he's put up on a pedestal, and why people love to watch him both on and off the field. So it's been a great week from that point of view. I think a lot of our players have learnt even a little bit more about the Texan and his family and what they mean to this footy club. From a coach point of view, it's the same. You know, there are times I've stood in front of you guys and said, I think Tex has played some of his best footy in the last few years. Well, I got that wrong. Going back over his 300, there's some footy he played through there that's just on another level again. And so it was nice to go back, even as a coach who's watched a lot of footy, and see it again and see how good he's been across the journey. And it's been a long one.
Have you lent on him? Have you lent on him?
100%. I mean, it's part of a coach and player relationship. I think that the stronger you can make that relationship, the better, and the more you can listen, the better and the more improvement you'll see in your players. Dawson's a great example of that. Texan's been huge for me across the 5 or 6 years that I've been at the footy club. Neither of us are always right. I tell him he's wrong more than, and he tells me I'm wrong at times. And then at times we agree. But he's been huge for me as a coach.
How much of a concern has clearance has been for you lately? Because you've got some of these wins, but they've gone quite against you in a bunch of those games.
Yeah, well, I guess in a way it's nice to have an area that we know we have to be better at. Finals footy especially. If we become pinned and we go back to the inside 50 count that we had last time, we know that's not going to hold up. So it does. It comes back to the way our midfielders, how our ruck's going to go to give us a first use, or at least first look at it. What sort of contest we're bringing in around the footy, and it doesn't get much tougher. Although you look at the 8 finalist team, they've all got really strong midfield. So we got some work to do. Our guys are pretty confident that what we've done across the year will put us in a good position to get that done.